morning today. We have sunshine. It might be a little chilly, but I think we're good in here. And welcome to Maple Grove. And Friends of Maple Grove is glad to present our last concert of the year. And we're looking forward to seeing you all come back next year. We're planning an exciting program of events going forward. Today we have Quintet of the Americas with their production Festive Sounds. As we do for all of our concerts, we dedicate each concert to someone who is buried at the cemetery. Might not be related to music, but certainly someone whose name we want to remember. Because downstairs, over the columbarium, which is right below us, there's a 3,000-year-old inscription on top of the doorway. And it says, it's from Egypt, and it says, to say the name of the dead is to bring them back to life. So what we like to do here is do research on the over 147,000 people that we have behind us, and find out about their lives and learn a little bit more about them to remember them. So today we remember William P. Halgren, who was born in 1959 and died in 2013. He was a poet, a writer, and a teacher in New York City, and he's buried here at Maple Grove. So we dedicate this concert in his memory. Just a few little housekeeping items. Don't forget to silence your cell phones, which I have done already. We also have several exhibits here. We have a quilting exhibit that you've started to look at already. Some of them are outside and downstairs in the lobby and in the lower level. And we also have a gallery exhibit of paintings by a local Kew Gardens artist, Rachel Vasnunez, and her work and the quilts are up here for the month of December. We try to switch the exhibits at least once a month, and we'll do that through next year as well. So you can always check back and see beautiful exhibits of photography as well as artwork done by many local artists, and we're constantly finding more, which is to our delight. The restrooms are downstairs on the lower level. Since we're videotaping today's performance, if you have to go out, if you could go around the back so you don't interfere with the recording. And I think
Gates.
oh yes. The gates do close here at 5 o'clock. This gate, all the other gates are going to be locked. This gate will not be locked, but it will be closed. We're having a reception downstairs afterwards, but if anyone needs to leave and you see the gate closed, just ask one of us and we'll go and open for you. This way, we don't have extra people coming into the cemetery after hours, and it's much easier for us to maintain security. So, thank you all. Oh, and let me introduce, in case you haven't met, Carl Bolinas. He is the president of the Friends of I don't think I introduced myself either. Helen Jones, the vice president of the Friends of Maple Grove. But that's okay. We're catching up. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the concert.
Welcome everyone. My name is Kim. I'm the flutist for the Quintet of the Americas. Thank you so much for being here. We're very excited to be here in this very beautiful venue on this chilly but sunny day. This is actually our last concert of 2022 as well, so we are very, very happy to be here. The first piece on our program is by a composer named James Cone. He actually lived in Douglaston, Queens for a good portion of his life. His works have been featured at the Kennedy Center and the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and he actually has written many pieces for our quintet. The first piece that we're going to play on the program is from his piece titled Fiesta Latina. We are actually going to be playing one movement of Fiesta Latina for you today. Great, enjoy.
Hi, it's so great to be here. We love this place. Nice and light, nature all around us. Quintet of the Americas is kind of an unusual chamber music group. We've been together for a long time. I joined in 1981. The group was formed in South America in the late 70s, came back to New York, and reestablished ourselves. One thing that we are is a tax-exempt 501c arts organization. So the programs that you get to see and hear are us as a business commissioning music very often. And the pieces you're going to hear today were all written for us, or at least associated strongly with us. The first piece was one of those pieces. Mr. Cohn was a resident of Queens, dear, dear friend, died in the last year or so. Wonderful man and a terrific composer who we champion. The next piece on our program is called Winter Music, and I think it paints a very beautiful picture of winter. Now, the way I see it and feel it is that you can feel the wind in this piece, because for me there's the drifting snow and a beautiful both calm and life to it that is really wonderful. So even though winter can be dark, this piece I think is quite light. Winter Music by Adam Schoenberg.
So many familiar faces. I recognize some from last time we played. It truly is one of our favorite places, not only because of you all, but also we sound good in here. It's got a wonderful acoustic, so it's really nice to hear each other and finally hear our sounds. The next piece we're going to play is by this awesome composer named Carlos Francetti. Carlos Francetti was from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and he was multifaceted. He was a composer, a conductor, and actually came to the United States first doing salsa dance. He was actually writing for salsa dance and helping them. Eventually went to Juilliard, started conducting, and a lot of his pieces have been played with really world-renowned orchestras and ensembles, including ours. And so the next piece we're going to play for you is one of his favorites, and one of our favorites, which is called Serenata, which also translates to serenade. So we hope you enjoy Carlos Francetti's Serenade.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Valbuena, and I am the clarinetist of the Quintet of the Americas. Again, I will reiterate how excited we are to be playing here today. Love this venue, love this beautiful audience that we have here today. The next piece that we're going to play is actually going to feature two new instruments. So we're going to have, I'll start first with mine. We have this guy over here, which is the bass clarinet. I'll tell you a little bit about this instrument before we play this. So the bass clarinet is kind of like a clarinet in terms of it has the same fingerings and it has a single reed, but it's bigger and it plays lower notes. So I'll give you a little sample of this. So the clarinet will play, in terms of its low range, play something around here. And then the bass clarinet is going to play here. So we get a much more lower end. It's not me, it's the instrument. It's much lower and it has this much more deeper sound. However, in this piece, the instrument actually plays an entire range. You're not going to hear it get that low, actually, at all in the entire piece. And it'll sound something like this. The next instrument that we have here is the English horn, which Matt is going to give you some.
So the English horn is the larger version of the oboe, which is sitting right here next to me. This particular one is made out of violet wood, kind of rare wood from Africa. So you know, though, however, these woods are grown commercially, so people aren't going out to the woods and chopping them down. They're grown commercially and then handed over to people like me. The cor anglais, or English horn, is actually a mistranslation of the French term for the instrument cor anglais, which means horn that is angled, or angled horn. So mistranslated as English horn, actually French horn is actually English. There's a whole history. But we're here to just play them. But I think the history of these things is kind of interesting too. And the other thing that we have both in common and not in common is that the oboe and the English horn are double reeds as well as the bassoon. So clarinet is single reed. Double reeds are, we tie them together. This is to put it very simply, in fact. But we tie it together, clip them off, thin it so it'll vibrate. Now, actually, I worked quite hard to get that crazy sound. But when you put it onto this rare wood, so you hear it a lot. When I get a call and said there's also an English horn part, you almost count on the fact that this is solo. They don't just put it in there without featuring the instruments someplace. So you probably heard it a lot, but it makes it changes the color of the quintet to a kind of darker, richer sound, if you will. Rather than a violin, becomes a viola or an upper cello. And the same with the bass clarinet. The clarinet is a top voice, but with the bass clarinet, it becomes darker and deeper. Okay, tango for a cold winter day.
So for this next piece, I would like to introduce the composer of our next piece, which is Perry Maurer.
He wants me to move back. Okay, thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today, and it was a pleasure to compose this piece for this wonderful ensemble. Now, the first thing that had inspired me to compose this particular piece, this is a wind quintet. I live in Manhattan on 10th Avenue, which is close to the river. You walk out the door of my building, and it's wind. I mean, in like every shape and form, strong, and then it'll stop for a second and be a gentle breeze, then it'll come and swirl, and I mean, and there's no way around it. You know, obviously, to get out of the building, you have to exit, right? So you develop a relationship with the wind, and it's something that's talked about a lot amongst the people in my building. Oh, the wind today, and I've lost many a hat, which was just blown right into the street immediately. Once a neighbor came out and the traffic was not coming, so he was kind enough to retrieve this particular hat, which was my favorite, which unfortunately about a year later did get swept away by the wind. So that was my inspiration, and I was very excited to work with these wonderful people and compose this piece for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, everybody.
It is by the composer and the trio, Vince Guaraldi Trio, and it's from A Charlie Brown Christmas. I know, it's amazing. My family always watched Charlie Brown specials whenever I was growing up. Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas. Halloween, my favorite. I love the I Gotta Roam. This is such a popular album. It actually went triple platinum and sold over 3 million copies. And so, in 2007, it made it into the Grammy Hall of Fame like it deserves to. And clearly it's amazing because we're playing it today. So, I hope you enjoy Skating by Vince Guaraldi. One, two, three.
many years ago, like in the mid-'80s, Quintet of the Americas was one of the touring groups for Columbia Artist Management. And we went all over the country. We would be gone for a couple tours a year, 30 days out at a time, concert every night, audiences of 300 people at least. It was really the heyday of touring artists. And we met a man named Edgar Colon Hernandez, who wrote the program notes for all of the groups going out for Columbia artists. So he was writing the program notes for our concerts. Years later, I was playing in the orchestra for the Gay Men's Chorus concerts. And Edgar was in the chorus, and he was doing arrangements for the chorus. And I said, Edgar, you know, your arrangements are so beautiful. Would you do some for the quintet? And he did, and we have 3 of them on the program today. So this is a fantasy on a Puerto Rican Christmas carol, the one you're going to hear next, Alegría. Inside of it, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with the Dies Irae theme. Very famous old theme that has been used throughout the ages in religious music and borrowed for secular music. And you will hear that embedded in here. I think, Matt, you have it, right, Alex, at one point, and I have it. So enjoy this one, Alegría.
James Cohn, who is the composer that we began our program with. He has, as I mentioned earlier, he's written a lot of works for the quintet, and as Alex mentioned, we are seeing a lot of familiar faces in the audience. So if you were at our last concert in the spring, you probably heard the piece Klezmer Fantasy. Klezmer Fantasy, this piece is called Dance of Praise. We are going to hear some elements of Klezmer Fantasy, so it may feel a bit familiar. So enjoy.
So I'm back with another clarinet. This one is very different than the bass clarinet. It's like actually the polar opposite. So if the bass clarinet is the large, this would be the small, and the clarinet would be the medium. So this is the E-flat clarinet, and in the same relationship that the bass clarinet is larger, plays lower, the E-flat clarinet is smaller and will play higher. I will give you a little sample of what that high stuff will sound like. Something like this. Yeah, it's pretty piercing. I know, everybody covers their ears. In this piece, actually, this piece is Procesión Jibara, also by Edgar Colón Hernandez. He actually doesn't use the E-flat clarinet in that high register, so don't worry. It's actually the lower register and kind of gives the wind quintet the sound of like a small village band. And this word Jibara means it would be somebody from Puerto Rico who lives off the land, who was like a farmer, somebody who's like a village person. But it's an interesting word, and I'll talk a little bit about it. It's an interesting word because there's also a salsa musician, Willie Colon, who has a couple salsa songs where he says Jibara, Jibaros, so, referring to people from Puerto Rico, the country people of Puerto Rico. And it's also a term that he used to, to connect with his culture. He was born in the Bronx. It's a word that he used to connect with his culture, creating music here in the United States. That word is also really connected to Christmas music. So I think villancicos, which is what this kind of music that we're playing. So I think it's really interesting that we have this connection here between the culture and Christmas time. So anyway, I hope you enjoy Procesión Jibara.
day at the Jackson Heights Library where the floor was carpeted. You know. Again, back in the 80s, I guess it was, we were doing children's programs for Queen Symphony Orchestra, and the person who was the educational director got us together, all the people who were from all the groups, to meet and decide what we're going to do and make planning and see if we could collaborate. And this wonderful artist, Karen Fitzgerald, is in the audience today. Karen, please. Karen is a fabulous visual artist. What is your website, Karen? Take your mask down for a second.
Okay, Fitzgerald Art.
Okay, Fitzgerald, Fitzgerald
.com.
Please go to her site and look at her gorgeous art. A lot of spheres, just magnificent. A terrific spirit, an extremely creative person, and we are forever grateful to you, Karen, for bringing us together with Carl Maltzby. Carl's an African-American composer, conductor, organist, now located in Orlando, Florida, works in a very large church down there, continually very active with composing in a lot of organizations. He was here in New York at the time, and up till not that long ago, conducting a choral group called Rejoice Ensemble. Amazing, it came to my mind. Music of the African Diaspora, a choral group. And Carl wrote many pieces for us over the years. He was involved in our Memory Project, which is a fantastic project where we meet with a composer in a senior center, and we interview the seniors and talk to them about what are their musical memories or what are their lives about. And the composer is there, and he takes notes, and he takes their experiences back and composes a piece with that inspiration. And we've done, I don't know, 6 or 7 of those. Carl was one of the early ones with Elmcore Senior Center. He also has written a big piece called The Journey with narrator and percussion, which is about coming over the slaves on the boats, and it's a big 3-movement work. I don't know, there are even more pieces he wrote for us. So, again, thank you, Karen, for connecting us. This is the first piece he wrote for us, and it was for us to play in the schools. And it's called Still Rockin' in Jerusalem, which combines, right? Still Rockin', gospel with salsa. So I think you'll enjoy it. So in this next piece, Edgar put together 2 villancicos from Puerto Rico, 2 carols. And this one is called Come Shepherds to Bethlehem. That's the English translation.
Our next piece on the program is called Festive Sounds of Hanukkah. So for our audience members and our friends in the audience that celebrate Hanukkah, this is for you. And also, if you do not celebrate Hanukkah, you're most likely going to recognize a lot of the tunes in this. This is kind of like a medley of a lot of different very popular Hanukkah songs. The first one being My Dreidel. So enjoy.
sleigh ride. And so we have two to play for you. One by the old man Mozart and one by the young man Mozart. They both wrote sleigh pieces. And of course, that was a method of transportation that was very serious in those days. And one way to keep the horses trotting along was to attach sleigh bells, both as kind of, here we come, we're on our way, and the energy projected by them. So now we come to the moment of talent combined with bravery. We need a player for the sleigh ride, please. Two players. Oh, we're going to use two players. Okay, so it's a duet on bells.
Someone has to be in the front of the horse and someone has
You got a
to
volunteer,
be in the
Mark?
back.
You got one already.
Put you up here with another person, huh? You can hold on to this and shake gently. But we need another.
There's another one.
Can you stand next to the
Yeah. We want you to stand a little farther over so that she can feel. Yeah, they're heavy. You know, we did this in some senior centers, and we had all the repeats in the piece. And by the time we got to the end of the first piece, these seniors were like, you know, they're heavy. They are heavy. So you can say sorry. And you just shake gently. Well, yeah, they're loud.
Look back, I can give you, sometimes I get a David, you can give you a clue. Yeah.
But there's no mistake. Just enjoy yourself.
So face the audience.
Unless you need to see me.
Thank you so much. Our wonderful guest just asked me, were these really used for horses? Yes. My mother collected bells, and one year my sister found these in a barn out in Ohio. I'm from Ohio. My mother was in Ohio. And my sister bought these and gave them to my mother, and now I'm the proud owner of these especially because we can take them to concerts and have people play with us. So this is the real deal, and they're antiques now. They're very old, and the leather is getting cracked on them. So there are two people here who are very special to the quintet. And I am going to introduce them and draft them into performing with us. One of them is looking away like he's pretending like he's not here. Dan Borino, would you please come forward? Dan Borino was a while back the president of the Rockaway Artists Alliance and arranged for many concerts for us, and has been a fantastic supporter over all these years. Dan, thank you so much. And your present is that you get to stand on one end of the bell.
I can stand. The other person folds, and then
You go over there.
that side. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. And the other person is Mr. Kenichi Wilson, who's sitting back here hiding.
Kenny, no? Bill? Which number? 9? 9, sorry.
He's moved up.
Yeah. And Kenny is the president of the Queen Symphony Orchestra, which I am a member. And Kenny also got us into this location the first time we played here, and has been a tremendous supporter. And Kenny is the guy behind the scenes who has the trucks and brings all the equipment to all of the concerts in the New York metropolitan area. And where were you in Florida? And you were in Pennsylvania. I mean, he expanded. He was yes, he does all of that. But his father is a percussionist with the Queen Symphony, Dave Wilson. But Kenny never gets to play, so I thought today
I can't read music.
today is your day. Okay.
Especially bell music. That's really hard to read.
Now, Dan is a musician. Dan plays guitar and sings, so he'll help you out.
You're in the lead.
The tricky thing about this playwright by Mozart, the younger Wolfgang, is in 3. It's like a waltz. So have fun.
Yes.
As long as you hit the main key.
Just like my family.
This really takes some bells to do this. Are you helping guitar?
Excellent. Love it.
Now turn over the bells to the professionals.
All right, sadly, we are on our very last piece of the program. And we just want to thank you again for coming today, and being out here and being with us. It's nothing like live music, and so it only works if there's a live audience. So thank you for being here with us. The last piece we're going to play is part of our festive program. But before I tell you about it, I just want to do one last introduction of the players in the group. So we have Kim on flute. We have Matt on oboe and English horn. We have Barbara on French horn. David on B flat clarinet, bass, E flat. And lastly, and myself, Alex on bassoon. What really helps us and helps bring concerts to places like this in Queens and venues is giving us any feedback or comments about how you enjoyed it or how you didn't enjoy it. But it really helps us when it comes to grants, because the only way we can put on these concerts, like Matt said, we are a business. We have to fund ourselves in order to survive. We have to use these comments and things to show people how well we're doing and if you actually enjoy it, so they give us more money. So take the time to do that. And our last piece of the concert is by an incredible black female composer named Valerie Coleman. She is like a mother to me. She has been a part of the Amani Winds and founded it, which was another woodwind quintet that still exists and tours today. She has really created new repertoire within our own instrumentation that pushes the boundaries of what a woodwind quintet can sound like. And I think you'll see that in this next piece. The next piece we're going to play is called Umoja, which means unity in Swahili, which is part of Kwanzaa, continuing the festiveness. And it was actually nominated for a Grammy for how well it was written. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you for coming. Unite with us in this last piece and say hi to us at the end.